Well, here we are back in Mittenrahm at the Dame Barrier Reef. We had gotten up to this point undecorated and done a fair amount of additional work now. A lot of the terrain has been tweaked with a layer of stone, mixture of calcite, diorite, andesite, and ordinary stone, with a lot of these boulders added. Used some color variation on the various coral. It's pretty good. I think, I mean, I know most of this was in place in the last video, but there, as I say, there's been a lot of tweaking. I'm fairly satisfied with it. The brain coral is still a bit of a miss, especially on a large scale. And the bubble coral, I've been looking at that, and it might be better to achieve this using the glass with the bubble coral underneath. The bubble coral is kind of transparent, but yeah, so obviously from this point carried on with the same, playing around. I really like this piece. I like the height to it. It's got some up and down to it rather than just this a little bit too much clinging to the edge. Plus there was a natural hole. Here this was part of the generation which I just boxed in slightly. So after all of that, we leave a gap for the boats so they're not hitting coral. And then we come to the island, which, because it's closer to the surface, has had smaller versions of the coral put in. And going along this way, and just a little bit of decorative work. Oh, I also yeah, I buried the original gravel here with 2 layers of sand. Trying to blend it in as best I could. Did some tweaking. Left this little skeleton here, just for the fun of it. And I'm not really sure what these are supposed to represent. Obviously using them here as, excuse me. And yeah, I don't know what they are, they just are. So this obviously carried on up, getting shallower and shallower, so the coral has been getting smaller. Squeezing it in virtually. I took a shot at breaking up all this kelp with some just plant made out of leaves. Obviously using 3 for some texture, but it's not really necessary. And I think the mangrove leaves look the best. There are a couple somewhere that don't make use of any of the other leaves, like this one. We also have a shipwreck. Very simple, didn't go too overboard. Just wanted to put the ship in. I think I was planning to do more than one, and also considering putting boats out here as well. But that's going to wait until further along. So this lagoon also had sand added to the bottom. I'm thinking, oh, even one more, so it's actually 3 layers of sand. I may do another one. Do this little arch covered in boulders. No special reason. This, I have no idea. I mean, it's a variation of what I've already used elsewhere. It's a little too thin, a little too messy. Doesn't really mean anything, it's just kind of meh. But we get to the end here where the collision between the 1.3 generation and the 1.7 generation. And I'm in the middle of essentially padding it out. I'm trying to go for this idea of land folding under each other. Hoping to make that stronger as I go along. Just going to come all the way along like this. And there's a little bit around the corner. And once that's done, I'll be moving to the other half of the coral reef. So I grew as many jungle trees as I could. Many of them won't grow because the dark oaks were much too close together for other jungle trees to spawn. But I wasn't completely happy. Too tall. I put in these spider roots like mangroves have, and as you can see, these 3 have been converted entirely to mango, except for the leaves, which I'm not going to bother with. It's not gone too badly, but really wasn't what I was after. I feel the same way about this. Not really what I was aiming for. The blue's not too bad, but I don't know. I think it might be too domed. I might need to try and switch it to a flatter, something flatter approaching this kind of design, rather than a sort of version of this. I was planning just to replace each of the mushrooms that are here, but there's only 2. So I might do 2 there and try and fit in more. And obviously I grew a whole bunch of mango trees in the shallow lake that was here in the middle. Thrown some mud in for some good measure. And then there's more large trees over this side. It's possible I might actually replace the ones that haven't grown with the blue mushrooms. We'll see. But all of that just leaves one last thing. Now this is actually the 3rd version of this. I originally did it with green. Space Marine, warped wood. So originally all green, using proper green blocks, green concrete and green terracotta and so on. And then I used the kelp block in place of these darker ones. And then I swapped that to wood, which wasn't too bad. And then I swapped the green to the turquoise that you can see here. And then I replaced the wood with the red, which is very vivid, but a little odd. And as you can see, I've taken a little experiment at using blue. But I wonder now whether maybe switching back to green is viable. And that's a lot of work. One of the last things I've been experimenting with was swapping out the prismarine, which was part of the original texture for this, for warped block rather. You can see this is also the prismarine. Makes it a little bit too green at the edges, which doesn't blend very well with the more cyan textures. It's been a little bit of a struggle. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe I can get something done. No idea why this is like this. But yeah, as I say, I'm nearly done here, and when I am, I will go back to the midpoint and start going the other direction. Except for the jellyfish. Shh. I shall get on with some work now, and see you in a couple of weeks.